So good, so good, so good.
Ready to rack to school and save big? Get to your Nordstrom Rack store today for thousands of deals from just $20.
Because I want to look fresh.
How did I not know Rack has Adidas?
I got a new backpack.
Score everyone's favorite denim, sneakers, boots, and activewear from Nike, Levi's, Steve Madden, Madewell, and Free People. Great brands, great prices. Everyone's got a reason to rack. Shop Nordstrom Rack and make it the best school year ever.
This Friday, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are back to switch things up in Disney's Freakier Friday.
Totally, yes.
It's an absolute riot, and the only movie that can be described as
So much weirder than the last time. What last time?
it's the frequel
You ready?
we've been waiting for.
That absolutely slays.
What deeply out of touch old person came up with that?
You did.
Wow.
Don't miss the comedy event of the summer for all ages. Disney's Freakier Friday, in theaters this Friday. Get tickets now. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
This episode is brought to you by the world's first reposado from Tequila Herradura. Made with slow-cooked, hand-harvested agave sealed into oak barrels and aged 11 months. Before being enjoyed in your glass. Experience the world's first reposado. Tequila Herradura. Please drink responsibly. Responsibility.org. Tequila Herradura. 40% alcohol by volume. Imported by Brown-Forman, Louisville, Kentucky. Herradura is a registered trademark. Copyright 2025 Brown-Forman Corporation.
Pie in the Sky Media. This series contains adult language and descriptions of graphic violence throughout. Listener discretion is advised.
Maybe get the bird involved. Don't make me get. Oh, there we go. All right.
Oh my God.
3, 2, 1. Don't you even mention. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, Criminal Mischief Nation, to another bonus episode of Criminal Mischief with Carolyn and Branden. She's Carolyn, I'm Branden, and we're glad to be here with you. Carolyn, how are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. I've been doing like a flurry of activity, including so my boys, I have 3 boys, and I have girls too, but they never got into Legos. But my boys, it's crazy, right? And we have like these 2 huge bins full of Legos that are no man's land. And I couldn't, it's like, I wanted to get rid of them because I know there's like so many kids that would want to play, but they still put them together. Like Legos is kind of like a thing. Did you ever do Legos when you were a kid?
I have a question for you. So your bin of orphan Legos, were they at one point part of like a set? Or do you buy just like 50 blue Legos or 50 green Legos?
No, we buy sets, but over the years, I mean, my son was like, it's just, I have this vision of him where the oldest one, who's now 16, whenever we would go to the store, he would carry his 2 dinos with him, one in each arm and like one underneath his arm. Like those were his security blankets.
Mm-hmm.
He would hold them by the tail, the tails. And then we would go, and he would love getting Legos. So we would go get Legos. He would order it's just been a thing of like the immense joy sitting at the table, putting them together, then creating videos and like, just all this stuff, everything. And then my other sons, of course, joined. So they still love putting them together, but we have this bin. It's like this huge bin, 2 of them. And I'm like thinking, I could use this storage, and they're not the type of kids that want to create Frankensteins. Like, of course, that's exactly what I want them to do. It's like, create, do whatever. Like,
yeah, don't follow like a book where you have to do the
right. You've got this whole huge, and they're like, no, of course. So anyway, my son, who's still 16, he still puts them together. So we put them all together. And there's this new Lego store that opened, and we brought them down there, and we traded. I basically wanted to give them to other kids who might want to use them, and so we did that. So it was great.
That's cool. So, because I had my oldest daughter, she was way into dinosaurs when she was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Love dinosaurs, and she would just talk to people in toy stores like, "What's your 4th favorite dinosaur?" And that's what she would always ask. And she would say hers is, Stegosaurus. I'm like, why 4th favorite? She goes, because everyone says the top 3. Velociraptor, T-Rex, Velociraptor, Triceratops are basically the top 3 that everybody says. And she wasn't interested. What's your
oh my
4th
gosh, she's so your daughter. Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
You gotta just like, can't be just like everybody else. Gotta have some kind of like maneuver
She
in
wanted
there.
to get to the interesting part. I know what you're going to say.
Okay. I get it. I understand.
Okay.
That's why I said, okay.
So there was a honeymoon period of Legos for both of my kids. That revolved around these like cool sets. My oldest Frankie, she would want, like the castle with like the trap doors and shit. And my daughter Delilah would want like the princess stuff. Like they were very, very different kids.
Yeah.
They're becoming more similar now as, with sports, and boys are their two like major kind of interests now, so they have a lot more to talk about, as opposed to dinosaurs and princesses. But yeah, so we had, some Lego things, and I would always want I'd create, because when we were kids, I don't remember there being Lego sets.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I remember just hear a bunch of Legos and build something. And you'd have that big square flat one as like the foundation where you could like build stuff on. I remember all that. That was great. That was really a really
no.
good time.
I think I have this like fantasy of them going and just being like, create. Let me just see. And one of them did it. No, two of them did it recently, and it was.
It probably was terrible.
Oh my gosh, it was. There was like it was like this claw and all that stuff, but it was awesome. Yeah. I love it when they do stuff just because I'm a Gen X mom. It's like they weren't doing it. Then they ended up getting into it, so that was fun. But anyway.
There's a bookstore by me. What's the only bookstore chain that's left?
Barnes and Noble?
Barnes and Noble. There's a big Barnes and Noble at this big outdoor mall by me. And it's like a 3-level, and it's great. It's got everything. And at the top, at the kids section, there's like a freestyle Lego sculpture, like structure, that's like a kind of to scale model of King Tut's innermost.
Oh my gosh!
Mask and all of that. Yeah, and it's great. Like I didn't believe it. I'm like, that's not fucking real. Whatever. So I go up and I like kind of grab it and shake it a little bit, and it makes that squeaky Lego noise, so it's like real Lego, solid Legos. I went, oh man, I almost broke it. But it's amazing. The details great, and it's freehand.
So did you ever do Legos when you were a kid? Did you ever get
just a little bit? A little. Like I wasn't like that creative with them, because we just had like a box of Legos, like all just random kind of stuff, and mine would always be the same. Like here's 4 walls, and I don't have anything for the roof, and I'm going outside. Like that was that was it. Like every single time, that's how it would be.
Yeah.
I don't have enough for the doorway to cross the door. I'm going to go outside. That was my Lego thing. But I remember, now that I'm thinking about it, the first like real big like Lego set I remember was the Millennium Falcon, like for Star Wars. Like you could get that. That was huge. And it was like thousands and thousands of pieces. I'm like, who the hell's going to do that?
They do.
But they do. They totally do.
I know. It's crazy. And I think Lego really has positioned themselves with all of the, we were there and they had Breaking Bad. My son, who's like, he just turned 11. He was like, look at Mom, they have to call him the scientist to get out of the copyright infringement.
They had a Breaking Bad Lego kit. Like, do you build a meth lab out of Legos?
It was like, I think it was a keychain or something. I didn't give it to him.
It's a kid's toy.
No, but it's not. Yeah. That's the thing. It's not. There were so many friends. I know, but I'm saying, I'm saying it's also not a kid's store. It's also adults. When we went in with our haul, this guy was like, I thought he was going to just go on fire. Like he was this nerd guy. And I was just like, because we had so many pieces.
Wow. That's Breaking Bad.
He was like doing his cash register stuff, and he's sitting there and he had to go through all of it. Like not really go through it, but weigh it and do some kind of thing. And he had like a feather on his shirt from like our detritus. Like there was like, I mean, it's been like layers and layers and layers of years of like crayons and glue sticks. And, you know, I mean, it was just kind of like a catch-all. Anyway, it was like, I guess I now I'm coming to the real surface here of it, is that, you know, it's kind of a passing of the torch of these Legos, but I was totally ready to do it. So it worked out.
And you gave them all away?
Well, I was planning on giving them all away, but they have this thing where it's like, you know, he comes over and he's like, hey, so I can give you 40 cash or 55 in store credit. And I was like, we'll take another Lego. Start it again.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
No, man, Legos are great. Legos are great. They were born out of that, you know, that post World War II, you know, kind of kids need to learn actual skills, you know. My niece, my brother's daughter, lives in Santa Monica. She's grown out of the school now. She's going into middle school. But they went to this really interesting elementary school that's modeled after elementary schools in the UK. So in between World Wars I and II, like the powers that be in the UK, they saw World War II coming, right? They felt the rise of the Third Reich. And so they're like, we're going to need a generation of kids that are comfortable in really uncomfortable situations, right? Because they saw the horrors of World War I. And so
oh my gosh,
these schools, they developed all of these schools across the UK that were just basically like big open lots with like a pond in the middle and like old tires and crates and wooden pallets and just stacks of whatever, you use your word, detritus, just weird material and stuff to build a fire if you could figure it out. And for a couple hours every day, completely unsupervised, they would just let these kids loose out there and just see what happened, right? See what leadership kind of looked like, right? What bullying looked like out there, what type of kid would create like a coalition and they would build something and then
Lord of the Flies.
Really, really Lord of the Flies kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And but all safe and supervised. And if a fire started raging out of control, there were adults that would come out and do it. If a kid's getting the shit beat out of them, adults would come out and stop it eventually. But so it was a watered down version of that type of school where for like a recess and stuff, they were just in Santa Monica, they were just released into this kind of field with just a bunch of stuff to grab and to hold on to and to swing around and to bury and to burn and to get wet and to like whatever. And they loved it. They absolutely loved it. You know? So,
yeah. I mean, I was a big fan of the, oh my gosh, it's like outside kindergarten, outside school. I'm first spacing on what the name was. And they didn't have a lot of them in the area when my kids were really small. But I mean, I think that it makes sense. You know, kids just going out and playing all day long is not a bad thing, you know?
No, it's a great thing. It's a great thing. All right. Hold on. I need 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Still stand by.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Mac. All right. So let's get into this. Ripped from the headlines. Carolyn, sorry. This is what journalism looks like, people. Okay?
I mean, not really. I mean, it's ripped from the headlines, but there hasn't been, you know, I hesitate to do these cases that haven't been adjudicated because, you know.
Well, no, look, it's interesting, and it's a really interesting insight into what ultimately winds up being a very common crime. It was greed, motivated by greed, which is weird because it's of all the twists and turns. It's funny. To my Gen X brothers and sisters out there, it reminded me of, in a very strange way, it reminded me of Die Hard. Remember the movie Die Hard? Of course, right? All of this sophisticated terrorism, domestic terrorism in this big building, and blah, 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 blah. And then at the end, they were just after the money. And Bonnie Bedelia, the actress, is like, after all this, you're a common thief, right? And he goes, no, I'm an exceptional thief, whatever, bullshit. But at the end, it was just all about money. And so with all of this stuff going on here, it was just, she wanted the insurance money. And it's so sad. And it's so, but anyway, all right, go ahead.
I think that the layers to it, and obviously she hasn't been convicted and there's been no trial. So, allegedly, let's just say that. But like, if it does play out the way that the prosecution thinks that it will, like, it is incredibly dastardly what she did. And that's what I think elevates it to just, I mean, going on a TV show and like,
listen, that's what I'm saying. All of the things that she did were like really audacious. Okay. But at the end of the day, it was your run of the mill crime that we've seen 1,000 times. Murder for the insurance money. Because there was probably allegedly.
It just feels like so much more. I mean, it just feels like I mean, I was thinking, I don't know what's worse. Like, you poison your husband and then you run off into your son's room and you sleep with him until like, okay, it's probably like 3 a.m. Let me go check and make sure he's dead. Or she didn't do that and she stayed in the room with him and watched him die, basically.
Yeah, we'll never know that. But let's back up to the beginning real quick. Home Depot romance. Hey, okay. It's pretty great. It's pretty great. I mean, think about it, right? He's a builder. She wants to be a house flipper. Where else are you going to meet? You're going to meet in a Home Depot, okay? Which is pretty cool.
It's funny because it was like bringing me back to a guy that I dated when I was in high school. And I used to work at this like kind of coffee shop / bakery. And there was not a lot of customers. So I was always like kicking my feet up and reading a book. Right. And this guy kept coming around. And just the whole thing of like, apparently it took him a while to get the courage to ask. And, you wait for the guy to come in and then it's like this, so it's just this like back and forth. Right. It just seems very, I don't know.
Right. So he was probably going in there buying a bunch of shit that he didn't need. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
$300 bucks of nails. Can't believe it ran out. Glad you still have them. Good thing this is a Home Depot. They got all the stuff here. Maybe I won't see it for a few days. Comes back again. So listen. All right. So finally, it works out. They have a whirlwind kind of romance. Produces three children, which is good for them. And then it happens in marriage. I guess sometimes maybe you grow apart. Apparently, there was some infidelities alleged on both sides. Okay. But what's interesting, I don't understand this guy. The department. I don't understand this guy. He thinks that his wife's trying to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
He explains as much to his friend on multiple occasions, and he sticks around and eats food that she prepares for him.
You lose weight, it comes back. Then you lose it again, and it comes back again with a vengeance. If this cycle sounds familiar to you, there's a better, more sustainable way to lose weight. What if you could take a weekly shot to shed those pounds and keep them off? If you've heard of Ozempic or Wegovy, then you've probably heard 3 things. They're effective, but expensive, and they're in high demand, which means they're hard to get. But you're in luck because there's Ro. Through Ro, you can access prescription compounded GLP-1s with the same weight loss ingredient as brand name GLP-1s at a fraction of the cost. Not only does Ro have compounded GLPs in stock right now, but Ro members also receive support throughout their entire process. Which means if you're eligible for medication, you can have access to your provider on demand for any questions. And Ro makes it super easy to see if you qualify from the comfort of your own home. This means no scheduling a doctor's appointment, no commute into that doctor appointment, and no waiting rooms. If prescribed, your medication ships directly to you in 1 to 4 days. And because you're a Criminal Mischief listener, we're going to save you some money. Go to ro.co/Ro ro.co/mischief. That's MISCHIEF. Memberships start at just $99 for your first month. Medication costs are separate. That's ro.co/mischief. Go to ro.co/safety for black box warning and full safety information. Compounded medication is not required to and does not receive FDA review or approval, RX only.
It's Wednesday, Adams. I see you're trying to distract yourself from your own banal thoughts. Let me help. Here's a recording thing made of my latest root canal.
Wednesday, Season 2, begins August 6th, only on Netflix. On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
That's why I'm saying I don't know. That's why I'm saying, like, would you really stick around if you thought your spouse was trying to poison you? Would you really stick around?
That falls under the no shit umbrella, where the answer is no. And if you stick around because maybe you can't afford the divorce, or because maybe you think you're just imagining things, you don't still keep eating the food that she prepares, where you just barely escape with your life on several occasions.
I mean, I just think what a horrible feeling that must have been for him if he really truly believed that she was trying to poison him to death. Okay, let's take the Valentine's Day alleged poisoning.
Alleged.
You know, you take a bite of a sandwich that she gives you, and you immediately go into hives. Go into hives. You have to go and like grab your son's EpiPen, because my son does use an EpiPen. You
dose yourself up with epinephrine, and then you pass out.
And then you down a bottle of Benadryl, and then you it's like, how terrifying is that? And then the gaslighting that must have happened between them. Like, what?
Oh, it's an unknown allergy. Oh, I guess we won't have that kind of sandwich anymore. Oops. Sorry, baby. You got a little red on your face.
I just don't. What do you do in that situation? Like, what could he have done? Like, he must not have really thought that she was trying to poison him, because, like you said, wouldn't you just leave? He had means. I mean, unless he was such a good dad and he just was like, I know we had our rough patches, but we need to keep this together for our boys. And that's the only thing that makes me feel like if he did believe or think that she was trying to, maybe in the past, I don't know. It's like, if someone's trying to kill you, I would want to get away.
You prepare your own fucking meals. Okay? I wouldn't, man, you ever heard the Count of Monte Cristo?
Not.
There's a scene in Count of Monte Cristo after he escapes from the Chateau d'If, and he's starting his whole revenge, kind of, the cogs are turning, and now he's this fabulously wealthy Count of Monte Cristo, and he's no longer Edmond Dantes, and he's back, and he goes to a party, all right? He's invited to every party suddenly, because he wants to get close to the people who he knows sent him away and set him up, okay? And he goes to the party of one of the guys, and it's mentioned, Dumas mentions it a couple times in the narrative, that he doesn't eat anything at the party, he doesn't drink anything at the party, even though that the guy has like the most ostentatious display of wealth at the time, which he had ice in the summer to put in the drinks for his guests. Like, that's how wealthy this guy was. And still, Christo ate or drank nothing. And then you find out later that one of the things he was taught while he was imprisoned was that you never eat or drink anything in the house of an enemy, like ever, even if they don't know that they're your enemy, like that kind of shit. So he didn't eat or drink anything. So that's what I'm saying. If this guy knew or even suspected that he was being poisoned by his wife on several occasions, and if he still was dumb enough, here, honey, here's your favorite dinner on the night that you end up dying. Oh, great. It's laced with 30 fentanyl pills. Okay, cool. You don't fucking do it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not convinced that I don't know. I just feel like if someone tried to poison me once, I would be like, goodbye. You know?
At the very least, I would order takeout. I'd get
No,
DoorDash.
I'm serious.
I'm serious too. DoorDash. Or, you know what I would do? I'd get super fucking gangster on it. I would have one of my 3 kids be my food tester to put
Oh
her
my
through the
God.
test. Because she wouldn't let the kid eat something that she thinks would kill me, right? Like, actually put her back to the wall, hold her feet to the fire, whatever idiom you want to use, okay? Like, let's really test it. I'm going to have your darling son, your middle son, your youngest son, whatever, your baby, eat some of it first.
Or you could just say, bye. I'm done with you. I'm taking my children with.
There's no reason this can't be fun. Let's try and test her, right? Let's try and test her. Or say, I'll eat this, but I'm going to have a forensic lab go over it first. What do you think about that? And just see how she reacts. Then she'll probably...
Wouldn't that have been great is if he would have, he had that secret trust, but if he would have somehow taken some of the food and had it tested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that would have been...
Remember that? Remember in Sixth Sense? In the third act? That sick girl who's...
She was being poisoned by her mom?
By her mom, who was Munchausen by proxy. Her mom was putting like fucking rat poison in her food. And the girl didn't stop eating it. She kept eating it and died, and then left the tape to her dad. So her dad saw it, and her dad confronts at the funeral. I mean, it was brilliantly constructed storyline. But yeah, I mean, let's do something that really exposes the alleged poisoner. But all right, so now let's talk about CL. What do you think CL stands for? Christine Lewis. No.
I know I saw something where it had her name on it, but anyway, it's kind of, you can see what the defense is going to present. Sure. They have to prove that she gave him those pills.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So CL, listen, everybody makes mistakes. She's got a rap sheet. Okay, cool. She's trying to straighten her shit out and work, but look, apparently, allegedly, she was still in the game and knew how to score some fentanyl. And on a couple of occasions, got between 15 and 30 pills for Corey. Again, allegedly. But listen, I wrote down in my thing here, in my notes, if only she weren't an idiot. Okay. And I'm not talking about CL, I'm talking about Corey. Okay. Because one of the things I mean, it's such a repeated kind of thing that happens in these episodes is that these people are just stupid at the end of the day. For all of the criminal mastermind leading up to the murder, sometimes it's beforehand, but oftentimes it's after where they just make stupid mistakes. So if Corey allegedly did all of this, what if she just kept her fucking cool and just played the grieving wife and didn't do anything stupid for a year, didn't try to cash in on the life insurance, didn't close on a house right afterwards, right? And she was making mistakes beforehand too, where she was trying to hack in to the business partners thing and change the beneficiary's name. Like she just left such a trail of breadcrumbs that just pointed to her obvious greed. And listen, and also the husband was kind of a dipshit too. I'm sorry, I don't mean to speak ill of the departed, but he stuck around when he thought she was poisoning him, and he knew something was fucked up because he changed his will also to make his sister the beneficiary and not the wife. So he had stopped trusting her with ample time leading up to his death. What was he still doing there? That's the question. What was he still doing there?
To answer your first question about her not being able to keep it together, I think that she was so just had to get this $1 million mansion. It was like a real coup for her. This flip, it was going to be there. I'm sure she just got so hyped and so into it. She just had to have this house, and he was a blocker to that. He was not supporting this. And it was like, I saw a picture of this house, and it was crazy. It was like 10,000 square feet. And then there was like a side house too that was like 4,000 square feet. It was on like 10 acres, and it was like by a resort and all that. So I think that she just, was so invested in this flip, in her job, in her work, that she just couldn't see, like, he was the obstacle. Him being dead was the obstacle. And I think that when you are blind like that, so blind by your own desire for whatever it is, if it's another guy, if it's like money, it's like she was so blind to it. She just couldn't, in her mind, she thought, I'm so good. I can go on I can write a book about grief, and I'm such a great mom that I can convince the world how much, how sad this is and what a great mom I am. Like, she has a lot of ego in there, to be able to pull something like that off.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Ego's the enemy, always. Because there are really smart criminals that get away with shit every day. Like, ask anybody in law enforcement.
Yeah.
There are people that pull this off perfectly, get away with it, quiet life, spending money fucking forever. Okay, they do it, right? Because they don't make these stupid ego-driven mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. That's the key here with her. She made ego-driven mistakes, and and she just couldn't help herself. And thank goodness she did, because if she ends up, being guilty for this, what she did people need to know. She needs to be punished for it. And it's so diabolical to think that those 3 children were there, and their father is dying, and she's the mastermind of this whole thing. And it's like, with the guy, the husband staying, it's like, you would do anything for your children, even staying with someone that you may think, did she kill you? I don't know. I don't know. That's the only thing I
would. Yeah. I love my kids, but I'm better for them alive than dead. If I think my wife's trying to kill me, I'm fucking out of here, and I'll figure it out.
I'm just trying to get myself into his mindset. Okay, I'm not saying I'm with you. I would be like, babe, I'm out of here. Fool me once, shame on. That's like
me hives. Yeah. Okay. We'll see.
It's just so outrageous. Like, in all the times that I've ever been, in a fight with my husband or whatever, I've never thought, could he kill me?
Yeah,
I just think that it's something that you don't think your loved one is going to do to you.
Oh.
And I guess that's why people get away with it so often, because
it's a surprise.
Yeah.
I have a couple more things. One thing that scared me, it harkens back, not that far back, to the Karen Reed story that you covered, that nothing is ever actually deleted from your phone. You think it is, but it's not. Okay.
I don't think it is. I don't.
I do. I'm dumb enough to think, I deleted that, and no one will ever know.
Really?
No. Yeah. And it scares me. Yeah. Okay. So that little bit of reckless use of the microphone on your part, with casting some aspersions against Corey's mom, maybe that she's a murderer. Okay, you pulled it back a little bit, but you were starting to paint the picture that that maybe Corey learned this from her mom. And then no charges were ever filed. Like, you backpedaled at the end. You're painting a pretty clear picture.
This was in court documents. This was not me. This is what was it? Okay, listen, buddy. Listen. I'm just saying, she probably saw the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. She saw her mom like, yo, I just
Right? Yeah. Exactly. Even though she never charged with anything. Okay?
never charged with anything, and she still hasn't. She has not been charged with anything related to Eric's death either.
Right. And the partner of the mom had a drug problem, like an established drug problem, which is very, very different from Corey's husband, who wasn't a fentanyl addict, okay, but suddenly fucking dies of a fentanyl overdose. Wait, again, okay, allegedly. So, and the last thing that I find interesting, did you ever listen to the show I produced a couple years ago called The Pink Moon Murders, about the massacre in Piketon, Ohio, in Appalachian, Ohio?
I didn't listen to that, but I am familiar with the case.
Okay. So it's basically like Hatfields and McCoys, but if the Hatfields in one night went and murdered the entire McCoy family and wiped out the entire bloodline in one night. Fucking brutal, brutal murders. And like I said, it was in Appalachian, Ohio. Although you're tempted to label them as like kind of poor white trash when they were actually kind of wealthy landowners. That's just how they lived. Okay.
Didn't it come down to they wanted to a child?
It was a custody battle. It was a custody battle.
It was a custody battle.
So it was closer to, because there was a romance that spanned the warring family. So it's closer to Romeo and Juliet if the Montagues murdered the Capulets, all of them in one night. Okay.
Yeah. Brutal.
So one of the red herrings in that case was that on one of the families, the deceased families, they have these massive plots of land worth millions of dollars, but they live like in rickety old airstreams, like on the property, like, but that's how they wanted to live. They had their dogs, they had their land, it was unspoiled, it was beautiful, right? But on one of these big pieces of property, they kind of dedicated several acres to massively extensive marijuana fields. Okay, that was illegal at the time. This is 10-something years ago. It's probably still illegal today. I'm not sure the laws in Ohio. And so one of the red herrings that was brought up by the defense was cartel, the Sinaloa cartel or the Medellin cartel, or one of the cartels. They were growing weed and they came in and fucking killed everybody. Okay, So cartels are such this violent boogeyman. Okay, that if there's any possible way of painting them with right? Yeah, that people go, oh, Jesus, it's probably the cartels. They are bad. I've seen Ozark. They're terrible.
I freaking love Ozark.
Ozark was great, but it scared the shit out of me with the cartels.
I know, but I'm just saying that's why when I heard when I heard her attorney bring that up, I was like, holy crap. Okay. Here it goes.
This is one person on the jury who loves and is scared of Ozarks like me, and they're like, man, this makes sense. These cartels are pretty bad. They could be anywhere. They could be anywhere.
I know. So that's why it's like I think that this trial is going to be explosive in many different directions.
Yeah.
Because
you could build the cartel boogeyman up however you want, right? And then with very plausible reasons for not getting them on the stand. They're the cartel. They're wherever they are right now. They're murdering. Okay. So they're not going to come up here and sit on the stand in suburban Utah, okay? But that's the guilty party, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it'll be interesting to see, but she's got a lot of evidence to overcome, and I think that it'll be hard. I think it'll be hard to get an impartial jury because the way she's been portrayed,
I knew about it. I heard about it. So they'll maybe get a change of venue or something. Try and get an impartial jury, but we'll see. This will definitely be a follow-up as this case is adjudicated. I'm really interested in seeing where it goes.
Yep.
So
keep you posted.
All right, well, yes, thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you for listening, Criminal Mischief Nation. If you enjoyed the show, please head over to Apple Podcasts and rate and review us. Consider sharing with a friend. It helps more than you know. And please consider supporting the great companies that support our show, because without them, we couldn't do it. So for Criminal Mischief, for Criminal Mischief, Carolyn and Branden, I'm the Branden of the duo, Carolyn Osorio. Carolyn, anything you'd like to add?
Nope. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody. Until then, stay safe out there.
From Cloud 10, Criminal Mischief is a pie-in-the-sky production, recorded in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We're produced by Brandon Morgan and myself, music by Soundstripe. I'm Carolyn Osorio, your writer and host.